Hey guys, here's a video to help you get started on the homework. So, first questions on the left are factoring, and as you saw from the notes, the process goes like this. You circle that last number, and you make a list of possibilities, numbers that multiply to be 10. So 1 and 10, 2 and 5, those multiply to be 10, and we're looking for numbers that add up to be -7. The problem with 1 and 10 is they're both positive, and they also add up to 11, which doesn't work. 2 and 5 add up to be +7, and I like the fact that it's 7, but it's still not -7. So how do you get that negative in there? Well, the trick here is that a negative times a negative is a positive. That still gives us the +10, which is what we want, but now the -2 and the -5 will give us that -7. So when we factor this now, we can write this as x minus 2, x minus 5. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. Here we have x squared minus 1x minus 12. Now that 1 wasn't in there, but I'm going to add it in there so that the rest of this makes a lot more sense. So we're going to make our table just like before, x and y, and the last number is -12, not x and y, what am I thinking? We're going to do -12, and we're thinking of combinations that multiply to be -12, like 1 and -12, 2 and -6, 3 and -4. Now we can also put the negative on this side. 1, 2, 3, make those ones negative. 12, 6, 4, make those ones positive. And we're looking through the list, trying to find numbers that add up to be -1. So that doesn't work, and here is our winner. 3 minus 4 is -1, and 3 times -4 is -12. So we can write this in here, x plus 3, x minus 4. And you check your answer by saying 3 minus 4 is -1, and then 3 times -4 is -12. Okay, now 2 of them won't factor. Let me give you one of the ones that won't factor. It's going to be this one, number 4. I'll show you why. If you have +12, you have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. You could also do -1 and -12, and negative makes a positive, -3, -4 make a positive. Now I'm looking through the list trying to find a -1, and none of these will give me -1. So this one will not factor. We can just say, darn, it won't factor. There's only one other question in this column that won't factor. Okay, let's go to a couple different types of questions. This one right here, x plus 2 squared. Let's just deal with that x plus 2 squared. X plus 2 squared is x plus 2 times x plus 2. And now the thing to remember is that the x and the x multiply to be x squared. You're going to add the 2 and add the 2 to be 4x, and then you're going to multiply the 2 and the 2 to be 4. But we can't forget this plus 1. And when we clean up that whole expression, let's put it over here, that whole expression is going to turn into x squared plus 4x. The 4 and the 1 are going to make a 5. Now what's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is the y value. What's the y value going to be when x is 0? Now if I replace all those x's with zeros, then they would just turn into nothing, and I'm left with a 5. So the 5 is going to go there. Your intercept is 0, 5. Okay. Another way of thinking about it is that right there just goes right there. 4 and 1 is going to be 5. Okay, so do the same thing on 13. I'll get it going for you. X minus 1 plus 4. So it's going to be x squared, and then you do the rest. Add up -1. -1 is going to go there. With an x, multiply them. It's going to be plus 1 plus the 4. Add that up, drop it in there. Okay, let's, and also 14. Don't forget 14. Okay, converting into vertex form. So this guy, you have your x squared, 6 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the way we're going to write this is x plus 3 squared plus the 2 that didn't fit inside the square. Now I'm going to show you another way of doing this that doesn't rely on dots and boxes. The way to do this is this. You're going to draw an x plus half of 6 is 3. Why are we taking half of 6? Because 3 go that way and 3 go that way. Square it. Now we have 11 dots. We're going to take away 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, to fit in that section. And the way we got the 9 is by doing 3 squared, 3 by 3. So we're going to square that guy to get the 9. And that, when you clean it up, will give you the same expression right there, x plus 3 squared plus 2. Now, where's the vertex? The vertex is -3. You flip that one, -3, and that one doesn't flip. Okay, let's skip 1 and do 18. Get you started at least. X minus half of 8 is 4. Bring down the 17 minus that number squared. Okay, again, half of that number, bring the 17 down, subtract that number squared. So follow that same process for the other ones. Okay, now the back is kind of interesting. What we're going to do is you're going to graph these things and factor them. Let's go ahead and do this one across. So factored form, 8. Numbers that multiply to be 8 are 4, -4, and -2. And just check that, -4 and -2, they multiply to be +8, right? Negative times a negative is a +8. And when you add them, -4 plus -2, when you add them up together, you get the -6. So that's factored form. Now, vertex form. To convert this thing into vertex form, we have, let me try to zoom in a little bit. We have our original equation, which is x squared minus 6x plus 8. We're going to follow that same process. Half of -6 is -3. We're going to bring down the 8, and we're minusing that squared, which is 9. Clean it up is going to give you x minus 3 squared minus 1. Okay, now this is going to tell you what the vertex is. So the vertex is going to be, flip that -3 to +3. That -1 is going to stay -1. So that's your vertex. Now for the y-intercept, how do you find the y-intercept? The y-intercept is found by this last number. That 8 is going to go in right there. So you have 0, 8. So when you plot these, let's plot the vertex, 3, -1. And then you're going to go over 1, up 1. You're going to go over 2, up 4, over 2, up 4, over 3, up 9, and that's going to get you right there at your y-intercept. So that's kind of the process. I'm trying to think if there's anything here super tricky. No, I think you can do this. If you're not sure how to approach this one, you can do the box method, x minus 2, x plus 2, to get the standard form. Okay, good luck.